Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast exploring Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I am the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois, which doesn't mean that I have lots of say or control. It just means that I'm the guy that does most of the preaching.
And I'm Jimmy Fowler, the guy with all the control, elder candidate at Redeemer Fellowship. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
No, I got all the
Are you
control.
joking me?
I am not joking you. Have you not seen Brian and I and the power that we wield here?
I've seen the type A personalities of you guys. I've seen your I've seen a lot. I haven't seen any power or control.
Well, yeah, we do it through money.
What?
Through budgets. That is how we control everything.
The one thing
budgets.
we don't have is money. At this
No,
time.
I know, but I'm just saying what little we have.
Oh, you control that?
I control
Really?
it through budget.
I feel like the congregation does.
Hold on one second.
You getting texts again?
No, I'm getting a call from our lawyer.
Oh,
I told him I was calling.
that's Tim. You got to answer it.
No, I'll call Tim later.
All right, but it's not about us.
Could be. Tim, don't worry about it.
I'm nervous. Why? You're stressing me out, and I'm on vacation, man. I'm not even supposed to.
Oh yeah, you're not even here right now.
No, man,
How
I'm
are
not
we doing
here.
this?
I am I'm on vacation, man. I am at this point. I'm in Georgia,
Boom,
chilling.
like a villain. That's why Tim's calling.
Oh man, maybe he's calling because he knows I've done something.
That's it. Tim already knows. He's like, let's post bail.
Yeah, I might have gotten into some trouble. Yeah, right now while this airs, I am with my family on vacation. We went to where will we be? First, where will I be first? South Carolina.
South Carolina
With the family, and then we will be in Georgia, and then we'll be coming back. So we're recording this early, of course, and yeah.
So I'm assuming at this point when this airs, I am I'm just sad and pathetic right now.
Because we haven't texted in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty sure.
It won't be longer than 10 minutes.
Everyone looks at like the JOFO.
Right.
And they go, man, they got such a great relationship and everything's good. But it's kind of one of those things out of sight, out of mind.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
It is true. When I was away,
Yeah.
you wouldn't respond or text me.
When you are out of sight, you are out of my mind. But it doesn't go the other way.
Yeah, it does. When you're gone?
No, you're constantly texting me.
Yeah, but guess what?
What?
I now have Pat and I now have Steve.
Yeah, but they don't even care. When you are in sight, you're still out of their mind. That's the reality.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, really? What are you doing this Friday?
I'm hanging out with Pat. He had plans with you, but he canceled.
I hate you.
Yeah, I beat you to it.
You know
didn't
what?
I?
You did a really good.
Beat you to it.
Well played, sir. Well played, because I had that in my back pocket. I'm like, I'm hanging out with Patrick.
Yeah. No, I don't even know what I'm doing Friday. Probably
Not hanging
something.
out with Patrick and I.
I don't get invited to anything.
No.
Hey, man, we're doing
You're a
our 10.
buzzkill.
We're doing our 10. I know I am. I'm the pooper at the party. So that's what Jen always says. Every
true.
party needs a pooper. That's why you were invited. What are we talking about today? We're
We're going to continue
Commandments.
on the 10 Commandments, and we're
Right.
going to be talking about the Fifth Commandment: honor your mother and your father.
Well, that can't be the fifth commandment, right? Because, like, if they're kind of ranked, I feel like they're kind of ranked, and so murder must be the first one in the second table. You got the first four, right? No other gods, no graven images, don't take God's name in vain, keep the Sabbath holy. You get to the second table relating to men and how we relate to each other, men and women, and the first one's got to be the big dog.
Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the
fifth one? Are you
land
sure it's
that
not
the
the
Lord
sixth
your
one?
God is giving you.
So I think that's kind of important. I actually think that's kind of important.
I actually think that means something.
That the first commandment in the second table is not don't be murdering people.
Yeah.
But you better honor your mother.
Honor
and
your
father.
mother and your father.
Why do you think that's first listed? I mean, maybe we're imposing too much on it, but I think it means something. Why do you think that? Why do you think that that's listed first?
Now, this is me just speculating.
Riff, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to riff. One of the things I've noticed in working in a family business is because I work with my dad. My dad's there. And I'll say to my dad, Dad, if they don't respect you, how are they going to respect me?
Right.
If they can't even look at you and say, that's the guy with authority, I'm going to listen to him. Why would they listen to the son? And I think of that in the same way, even, I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, is with my kids. I tell them, you know why? You need to honor us because you're learning to obey God.
Wow, way to steal the thunder, dude.
No, I'm just saying.
That was a late. We're going to talk about that later. Now
I know
just
we're
bring
going
it
to talk
on
about it
in.
later, but I think that's why it's first. Is because if you can't even honor your parents,
Right.
how are you going to respect and deal with others?
Yeah.
Your parents who care for you, who love you, who have sustained you, who have looked after you. If you could, I'm going to say the word like poke your parents in the eye.
All right.
Like disrespect.
Yeah.
Then why would you respect anybody else?
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
I know I'm 100%.
I'm telling you. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You're right.
I know I'm right. 100%.
So you know, because I just told you. I'll tell you this: that
granted.
even in the world, just the way things work, if you can't respect mom and dad, you're not going to respect anybody else, and you're likely to get in a whole heck of a lot of trouble.
That's why I get really upset. Like, if my kid can't respect his teachers, I get mad.
But your kids are good. Your kids are good. With
They are
teachers,
good.
so.
I make sure of it. I talk to their teachers. I'm like,
They don't respect me.
no, they respect you.
Now they do.
No, they like you. They like you.
You know what? Here's what happened.
You played a little too rough at the beginning.
No. Here's what happened. I'll be like, hey, buddy, what's up? And they just look at me and go like, that's what I get.
You have no hair. There's no respect.
Really? Is that what it is? It's like that
it's all
because they
hair.
come from the Fowler. Like
They're like, oh, even this morning,
you got like the
this
heritage.
morning, Arnia's like, I love your hair, Daddy.
Yeah, I got nothing to love.
It's like, I love your hair. I love your beard.
Like that. So, all right. So you read the scripture passage,
Yep.
right? This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your father and mother.
Yep.
That your days may be long in the land that your Lord your God is giving to you. So this is the first commandment in the second table.
Yeah.
And we're encouraging you guys to pick up Thomas Watson's book on the Ten Commandments. It's really, really good.
Fantastic.
It's really good. Listen, when we tell you to buy it, we tell you to buy this for a couple reasons. One is because it's going to feed your soul. It's not just going to inform your mind. It's going to feed your soul. And two, and most importantly, we get a kickback from Amazon. So go ahead.
That's not
and
most important.
What?
That's of second importance.
Oh, I don't remember.
Listen,
the order.
if you can
Is
get that book cheaper and
for free, you can get it for free. We
then-
link to it.
yeah,
right there.
then get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I want you to have a hardcover.
Yeah,
I want you to have like
because then we can pay for our hosting. No, is that not it?
I think there's something special about having something in your hand
That supports our ministry.
Whether
Yeah,
it's
I like
paperback or hardcover, I think that's important. If you can find it cheaper somewhere else, other than Amazon, get it. That's more important than us getting a kickback.
Okay, but if you want to make a tax-deductible donation...
No, there is no tax-deductible
donation. Wait, I thought we could make...
We are not a 501c.
Wait, they can make tax-deductible donation.
We are not a 501c3.
Sure, we're like a ministry of the church. People just give us stuff. And, isn't that how they do it? That's how they do it.
That's how... I'm not... Nope. You almost got me there.
I almost tried to get you.
You almost got me to say something.
Banter. People are getting mad. People are... the 5 people that don't like the banter are... by the way,
all right, stop.
Anti-banter people... pretty much every email that we get, and we get a lot of emails and messages. Pretty much everyone has a PS. Keep up the banter. Just saying.
I know. All right, just stop. Look,
so I'm just kidding.
I know,
I'm just
we don't have to.
For the record.
No, it's not for the record.
It's for the record.
There are some people that don't like it, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So for the record, most do.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
Okay,
fair point.
there you go. Yeah, that's
all right, so honoring your father and your mother. I mean,
Okay.
Watson. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead. I'll let you go.
Well, no, I was going to say, Watson kind of talks about various kinds of fathers or authorities.
Right. You would think he does. You would think that, like, we all. When I think about this, I think mom and dad, parental authority. Oh no! What happened?
Okay, I just got a tweet. I am kidding you.
Just
not.
now, he just picked up his phone because he never pays attention during podcasting.
All right, ready?
I'm ready. I'm listening.
Mentioned by Bob Comarsh at Doc and Devo. Dear Jojo and Fofo, more banter, please.
Told you. I told you.
Hashtag banter is the new cowbell.
All right, what's that guy's name? What's his Twitter handle?
All right, let me find it again.
We gotta give a shout out to this guy.
Bob Comarsh.
Oh,
there we go.
You got to spell it out so people can follow him.
At Bob Comarsh.
So spell it. B-O-B.
Oh, BOBCOMARSH.
All right, Bob, you're awesome.
Yep, I'm actually going to tell him right now.
Oh, man. See, I told you. Every all the time, all day long. People say they like it when we just talk.
Quoted your tweet.
Literally. We just did it. That's so funny.
All right, keep going.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
We're talking about how Watson talks about there's various kinds of fathers or authorities.
And we read this and we immediately and appropriately think mom and dad. That's what it says. Honor your father and your mother. But Watson does this thing where he's like, listen, this actually can relate to other forms of authority. right? So those who are your fathers in the church, those who are your fathers in the city or in the government, your elders, you ought to honor them as well.
Yeah.
And I think that there's room for that, but we're just going to focus in on the aspect of this being, or that's okay with you?
I'm okay with it.
Let's just focus in on what it means to honor father and mother. And for the rest, you can read Watson on that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going to talk about honoring mom and dad, honoring our parental authorities, right? And so it may not be literally mom and dad biologically. It may be, you may be raised by your grandmother, you may be raised by your aunt, or you may be raised by someone else. So your parental figure, right?
I think that's important to
So you honor them. And I think it's fair to say, by looking at Watson and what he says, that we honor our mother and father through respect, obedience, and he also mentions the relieving of our parents' needs. Right. So let's just talk a little bit about that. What about showing respect? I mean, he actually pushes this idea on a level of principle that, what does it mean to honor them? Well, you show them respect. How do you understand that, Jimmy?
I mean, I kind of take that as, I don't want to use the word I don't want to use dishonor to kind of define it. But every time I see something like this, when I think about what does it mean to honor my parents, and what does it mean to respect them, I actually think of Noah. I think of Noah drunk.
Right.
And
great dad.
Yeah. Noah drunk, and one son kind of mocking him, and the others, walking in backwards and covering over his shame.
Right.
And that's kind of what I think of when I think of respect.
Yeah.
Is I am not going to put my father out there to other people's to be ridiculed or to be laughed at or scoffed at or anything like that.
Right.
I've had people that'll try to they'll jokingly kind of badmouth or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to play into that game.
Right.
With that. Because I feel like that's disrespecting or dishonoring my father. So I guess when I think of that, I think of
you guard their name.
You guard their name. Thank you. That's the perfect way to put it. And their reputation with those around us.
Yeah, totally.
You speak well of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't bash them. You're not. I don't know. I mean, I know some of us don't have. Or some of you, I shouldn't say some of us, because I did have a great dad, and I'm very thankful for that.
Your dad is pretty awesome.
And yeah,
I can confirm that as an outsider.
Exactly. And so I know that there's some people that haven't had that same blessing that I've had.
Right. My dad didn't. My dad had no dad.
And that's it. You know what? I could say it. My dad didn't have that either.
Yeah.
Right. And so he really wanted to ensure that he took care of us, not just financially and physically, but emotionally and spiritually. He wanted to make sure he was present in our lives, and that we knew that we were loved by him.
He was very loud too, though.
He is very loud.
Your dad's loud. That's
My
in
dad
general.
is loud.
Happy or sad, he's loud.
Oh, goodness gracious. He is loud. He is loud.
Yeah, I think, you honor your parents in the way that you interact with them and for them. That's how I think about it, right? So,
and actually, speaking of that, sorry, and I don't want to.
No, go ahead. Interrupt me. I don't have nothing to say. Go ahead.
I remember making a joke.
The floor is yours, Jimmy.
Thank you. I remember actually making a joke in a text.
Yeah.
And it might have been inappropriate.
With your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, towards him.
Okay. And it was a group text?
It was a group text.
Okay.
And he was so hurt.
Oh, he wasn't mad. He was hurt.
He was.
That's worse.
He was hurt and mad.
Oh, he was mad too.
Not mad. Not really. I shouldn't say mad. Like he was hurt and offended.
But you hurt him. Oh my gosh.
And because I disrespected him, even though I was joking, and it wasn't meant to be a disrespectful
but there's
thing.
a line there somewhere.
There was a line, and so that was part of it.
Yeah, how you interact with them and for them, it makes a big deal. And unfortunately, we usually discover the line is a little closer to us than we want sometimes.
I found out that day.
I've definitely done that with my dad who lives with us. So yeah, you respect them, but the way that you interact with them, the way that you talk to your parents, right? Mm-hmm. Do you show them respect in your tone? Do you show them respect in the ways that you speak to them? What does it tell your parents? Like, what does your demeanor, your posture tell your parents about your feelings towards them
Yeah.
in your interactions. So respect is a really big thing, and it comes out in different ways, and from culture to culture, and even family to family. So, like in my family, we've always been really direct. I think your family's the same way. Jimmy.
Yeah, my
you
dad,
just say what's up, like what's
he
up.
cannot stand if you're. I can't. Say
That's more disrespectful in
That's
our
it.
families to like beat around the bush.
To my dad, he's like, "Come on, are you serious? You don't respect me enough to not waste my time."
Exactly. So, I think those are the healthiest families, really. When you can just get it all out there.
We are the healthy family.
I think we're the healthy ones. So definitely, there is some culture here at play, but do you speak to your parents and of your parents in a way that protects them and honors them? It really is important.
And I like that protect. Sorry. I was just thinking through. I know we've been talking about honoring and respecting, but I like that, the protect.
That's a part of respecting them.
Yeah.
And it's going to get into that last part about relieving our parents' needs as well.
Yeah.
All right. So we also, though, honor our mother and our father through obedience, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was something that I probably didn't learn more until I left for a while.
Oh, when you left home?
Yeah, when I left home, was out on my own, kind of seeing the world for what it was, because there was a lot that my dad, I think, protected us and shielded us and tried to give us a leg up on. And so when you're out there by yourself, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, all right.
Yeah.
This is different. This ain't the same. And so you learn what it means to work for other people. Woo! We learn what it means to, sorry, we just got a text. We learn what it means to work for others, to listen to others. And then we figure out, hey, wait a second, maybe I don't have it all together. Yeah. At home, you kind of felt like I have it all together. I know what I'm doing here. Right. I'm the smartest guy in the room. And when you leave and you work for somebody else, you find out, maybe I'm dumb.
We're not really getting into obedience yet. We're kind of going back to honoring, but I like this because you're reminding me that one of the ways that I dishonored my dad, and you could never overtly dishonor my dad.
Yeah.
That would not go well. My dad and mom, in fact, I had no rules growing up, guys. No curfew. 12 years old, no curfew. Didn't matter. Like, they trusted me, like, hey, do your thing. No filter for what I could watch or listen to, nothing like that. They were non-Christians, and it was very liberal. But I respected mom and dad with my words and my tone and all of that. But I disrespected my dad in not learning from him. And that's what you're talking about, right?
That's
like you want to respect and honor your parents, then you learn from them. You listen to them, you esteem their words, and you learn. Unless they're fools, of course, then you don't do that. If they're pointing you down the road to destruction, you don't listen to that. But otherwise, soak it up, take it in, because they're smarter than you.
But that part of that though is that I think because we think we have it all together as teenagers or as young adults. We disobey because we think they don't really know what they're talking about. Yeah. And until later we realize, wait a second, I need to listen to my parents.
Man, I remember, so my dad has been the same man for the 44 years I've been alive, or however old I am. He's
65.
Okay, I don't remember. But he's been the same man. He has not changed, okay?
No, man.
Now,
Mr. Thorne is amazing.
When I was 14, I hated my dad.
Everyone does. I don't know why.
I actually Now, I loved my dad before that, but I hit that 14-year, and I was like, whoa, I just hate. And Dad, if you listen to this, and I haven't told you this before, sorry, man. You know how much I love you and respect you, but there was a year there where I hated you.
I think everyone goes through that phase,
it had nothing to do with him, and praise God.
It had everything to do with you and your
immaturity. Like a year and a half later, I realized, oh, I'm the jerk.
Yeah.
Like I figured out, like, wait a minute, my dad hasn't changed. I'm the one who's changed. He's not the jerk. I'm the jerk.
I must say, I know your dad. Yeah, your dad's not a jerk.
No, man, my dad is he's just chill. He's old school. He's patient. But he is the father. It's why you honor mother and father, because they have the place of authority. And so frequently my dad would say things like, you've got to do this because I've asked you to do it. And he wouldn't offer me another explanation.
And there doesn't need to be another explanation.
It would drive me insane. And so I'm actually sensitive to that feeling. Like I want my kids to have a reason. But sometimes, guys, the reason is because God has put me in a position of authority, and you need to learn to do what I say when I say, because there won't always be an answer.
That's
especially when it relates to God or your employer.
And that's it. I've learned that even, I work with my dad for my dad, and he'll ask me to do things, and I'll just say to myself, hey, I would do it a different way. I'll bring it up, But if that's the way he wants, that's the way I'm going to do it.
And that's your job. Your job is
That's my
actually to
job.
speak into those processes, but ultimately he's going to make the call.
Exactly. And my dad would never ask me to do anything, and that's what I praise God for.
Yeah.
My dad has never asked me to do anything that would be dishonoring to God himself.
Right.
So obeying my dad has never, like, being presented with, do I obey my father or disobey God?
Never been there.
Has never been there. If
But
anything,
sometimes you have to. Sometimes I imagine you've had to obey your dad when you were like, "Gosh darn it, I don't agree with this,"
and that's it. I've had to,
and that's okay,
and that's fine. That's the way it goes. And truth be told, my dad has always encouraged me to, seek God's call on my life.
Oh, totally.
Before anything else,
Dude, I've been able to talk to your dad a few times about this stuff, and he loves you, and he admires what God is doing in you. He sees it, and your dad is a super encouraging guy. He's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to know him, and I'll be sure to invite him to my next birthday party.
That's cool.
Wait, but
what about me?
No, you. Yeah,
Anyway, so part of that honoring our parents, and I think this is something that you do really. I've admired you for, Joe. You and Jen have been relieving a parental or relieving our parents' needs.
Right. So like when
I'll let you speak into this because I'm not at that stage yet.
Yeah.
I've actually been fighting this, and that's me talking about my heart here.
Yeah.
I can't. No matter what I say right now, everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about. So continue.
What you do is when you find your parents aging, because you're young, I'm older. So
65.
As you get old and your parents get
65.
older, they're going to need care. And so what you do is you farm them out to the cheapest state-run facility and never talk to them again. That way, out of sight, out of mind.
That's been my plan.
And then you just take any money that they may have accumulated and pour it. Of course, in my family, nobody has any money, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I can't.
No, so what we've done from the beginning, Jen and I have talked about this from the beginning of dating, marriage, and everything, and that is, if our parents, we're gonna take care of our parents.
Yeah.
Right. Now that doesn't mean that we have the financial means to like take care of people in any big way.
No.
But when my dad was diagnosed with Huntington's disease, and we knew that they were going to need care. We knew that they didn't have a retirement plan, and then we said, "You're going to come in and live with us, and we're going to make the basement into an apartment, fully furnished." So they got the whole thing: full bath, kitchen, living room, bedrooms, all that. I said, we're going to put that together for you so that you can live with us. Our children will be close to grandma and grandpa.
Which is a great plus.
Yeah, right. And grandma and grandpa are going to be close to the kids. We'll all be together. And of course that comes with some difficulties and some challenges, but it has been awesome. And it's been that way for over 10 years. And my mother, of course, during that time has had a few strokes. So she's actually in a lot more delicate shape than my dad is in with Huntington's disease. She's in a wheelchair. She can't get out anymore. And my dad can still drive a little bit. So all that to say, Jen and I both had decided we're going to take care of my parents when that need arises. And so it arose some time ago, and we've been rolling with that ever since. And we will take care of them until it's absolutely impossible for us to take care of them. And really, my sister's in town.
Well, and it's not
helping.
only your parents you've done that with, but your grandma. So it's
my
not,
grandma too. Yeah,
you've honored not only your parents but your grandparents.
Yeah, and it's again, it's not like. I guess some people have asked, like, wow, that's a really big sacrifice. And I suppose it is a sacrifice, but it's also something that we really want to do. Yeah. So if you want to do something, you just deal with it, right? You just make it happen. And so however you are able to do it, it is important that we take care of our family.
Yes.
And listen, Mom and Dad took care of me. They raised me, loved me, trained me, gave me everything I could ever need. How could I not take care of them? That is
absolutely
crazy. So, yeah, I think, and Watson talks about this, relieving the needs of your parents. It's one of the ways that we honor them. Absolutely. Now, there's a promise in here, Jimmy. There's a promise in that commandment in Exodus 20.
Hold on, let me pull it back up.
So I'm going to read Exodus 20.
All right,
you look at a New Testament thing. All right, so in Exodus 20, what does it say? Verse 12. That your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God has given you. Oh, so honor your mom and dad, that you can live long and prosper. He spocked it. He just spocked this thing.
He spocked it.
Okay. So this is referenced in the New Testament as well, I believe.
Yeah. Ephesians 6:2, honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise.
Ooh, by the way, notice, this is the first commandment. Well, it's not the first commandment.
But with a promise.
But it's not the first commandment, is it? The first commandment is, you shall have no other gods before me.
Yeah.
So when it says that this is the first commandment, it must mean first commandment of the second table. Nice, right?
I just think first commandment with a promise.
The first commandment is you shall have no other gods before me.
I know, but where's the promise there?
Oh, you're saying it's the first commandment that has a promise attached
Yes.
to it? No, I think it's saying it's the first commandment of the second table. That happens
Agree
to
to
have a
disagree.
promise. No, I'm telling you what it is. We're not disagreeing. I'm telling you. Okay. So this is.
You were so proud. You're like, yeah. Like, yeah.
No, we're going to disagree on that. That's fine. That's fine.
The
We
scripture
disagree.
says with a promise, so I'm going to go with
There's
that.
a promise right there. All right. So what does this mean, Jimmy? How do we make sense of this? Like, so if you obey your mom and dad, you're not going to die when you're a little kid. Little kids die. Little kids get shot. Little kids get cancer.
You're saying, like, why is this important? Why?
No. How is it possibly true? When I know kids that have honored their moms and dads and have been either gunned down or gotten diseases and died, they have not lived long.
Well, I think part of it is that it's good for you, right? Like these are truths.
How is it true
Go
that
ahead.
you live long if
And
you
prosper?
honor
I
your
heard you.
father and mother?
Uh-huh.
How is it true that you live long when I know of
Is this
kids?
because I called you out for the promise?
I'm just asking you a question.
Hold on, look at this. Hold on.
Hey, don't be reading commentaries.
I'm
What
not
are you
reading.
doing? Are you
I'm
reading
actually-
commentaries?
No, I got the scripture back.
All right, good. All right.
Keep going.
Well, I'm
Sorry.
just asking. How do you make sense of that? Okay, I'll ask it to you this way.
All right, ask me this way.
I'll ask
Here
you a
go,
different way.
Verse 12.
All right.
Your father, mother, your day. Well, hold on. That your days may be long.
Okay, now
in the
read-
land that the Lord your God is
All right,
giving
now
you.
read it in Ephesians.
Ephesians. Hold on. See, I know what's going on here.
Okay.
Honor your father and mother. This is the first command with a promise.
Oh, it's a promise.
Yeah, your promise.
And what's the promise in Ephesians right there?
The promise. Well, hold on. The promise.
Okay, but in Ephesians, he's reading. What is he saying in Ephesians?
Honor your father and mother.
Okay, and then it says with a promise. And
The
then it
promise, back in verse 12 of Exodus.
No, don't go back. Read it in Ephesians.
What are you talking about?
What does it say?
Hold on. It's only showing me 6:2. I hate you. Why are you doing this to me right now? Hold on. Now it's going to Ephesians 5. Thanks for putting me on the spot. I got this.
I just want you to tell me what. I don't have Ephesians open.
I know. Here you go. That it may verse 3. Mm-hmm. That it may go well with you, and that you may live long in the land.
Okay, so my point is that it's possible to honor God, to honor your mother and father, and to not live long. Right? It's possible.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're talking about here then is like a general principle. It's like, in a sense, sort of a proverb, right?
Yes.
And so my basic question is, how is this true then? Because we know in some ways it doesn't work out. How is this a truth? Why would people live longer because they honor their mother and their father?
I think because there's God's truth and wisdom there for us.
Okay, but there's God's wisdom and truth there for people that die young. So,
Well, maybe they didn't listen to it.
okay, I'm not going to make
playing with that.
that.
That is not true. That was me making a joke.
But like, so is there, I mean, is it just like, well, God decides to prolong some lives and not others regardless of this? I mean, I tend to think that.
Yeah, let me hear what you think on this one, because I'm trying to figure out where you're going with
I'm
this.
probably not being clear.
You're not. You are not.
It's probably my fault.
It's your
all,
fault.
It's all my fault.
It is your fault.
Okay.
Continue.
So, honor your daddy. All right. So,
Don't say it
What?
like that. Stop. Continue. Just continue.
who's your daddy?
Just stop. I even told you to stop. Go.
So I believe that when you are honoring your mother and your father,
Yes.
you are demonstrating submission to authority. You are learning
Yeah.
respect for your elders and for others.
I agree with all that.
And you are a lot less likely to be the kind of person that will get into the kind of trouble that will lead you to getting gunned down in the streets. Not always.
That's not exclusive.
No,
but yes.
but you are
okay,
less
I understand where you're going
likely.
with that. All right.
So
yes.
there's this proverbial wisdom.
like
here.
I said, there's wisdom and truth there.
Wisdom
for
and
how
truth.
you live,
There
how you
go.
live.
Or leave.
Or leave.
Whatever
You
you,
live
want.
and you
Hey, man,
leave.
whatever you mean.
Doesn't
Whatever
matter.
you want to be. All right.
Either
so,
way, thank you for the roundabout answer. Go.
All right. So let's just say this, right? There's this command: honor your mother and your father, respect, obey, relieve them if they have any wants or needs. This is important, right? Because it teaches us how to honor our
Yes,
heavenly
this is
Father.
really
You've
good.
already made that point, right? Like,
Yeah.
This is important because in learning this, we ultimately, I mean, yes, it relates to other forms of authority, but ultimately it is teaching us and preparing us to submit ourselves to God as Father, right? Jimmy's not by the mic. He's running around dancing in his underpants. What are you doing
don't
over
make
there?
that story up. And yes, I agree with you, 110%.
Okay, so let's get to the implications here. I think there are some implications that can be made for parents, right? So honor your mother and your father. We ought to be able to look at this and say, okay, well, here are some implications for us. When you look at this, Jimmy, what are some implications that you take away? If we're supposed to honor our mother and father in order to honor God, what are some takeaways for mom and dad?
Well, I think first and foremost, be honorable.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think that means how you conduct yourself in word and in speech and in attitude is something that should be honorable in front of your children.
It's a lot easier for them to honor you when you're honorable.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Like if you
case.
are just, if you're belligerent, if you are unreasonable, if you're irrational, it's hard for your kids to...
Yeah, if you're angry and abusive all the time.
It's going to be hard for them to honor you.
Yeah.
If they see you disrespecting or mistreating, and this is me talking to fathers, to their mother, that's hard to honor you. Or the other way around. Yep. I'll be honest. I don't think I've said it here before. I've said it other places. It's hard for me to hear some of the things that my mother has to say, because as a child, I would listen to her as she had drank too much, talk about my father in such a way. But I would look at my dad, and my dad would never speak a word about my mom. Never once did he dishonor her in speech. In fact, he would tell me, "Hey man, you got to go visit your mom." And he would tell me, "You need to be honoring your mom. Why are you not calling her back?"
Right.
So anyways, it
goes both ways.
You need to be honorable as a parent.
I think that's really good, man. And the way that I was thinking about it is, and it really builds off of that, is an implication for parents is that we must represent and reflect God well to our children.
Yeah,
so that is really the ultimate way that you're being honorable. So it's what you're talking about. You to be honorable means that we represent God to our kids. We are spending so much time. Pastor Pat talks about this all the time. Parents spend so much more time with their kids than any teacher or Sunday school teacher, and yet they expect teachers and Sunday school teachers or youth group leaders to do it all when you're the ones that have the most influence. So you have to make sure that you are the kind of parent who is representing God well to them. That means you got to know God and you got to follow God. You want to live like God. You want to represent Him to them in ways that they can understand.
So then what does that mean then? Like you think of Colossians 3:21, right? What does it say? Fathers, do not provoke your children lest they become discouraged.
Right. That's such a powerful verse, man.
Especially
we have multiple kids.
Yeah, we have multiple kids.
Have you ever discouraged your kids by being a jerk?
Oh, yes, I have. I have discouraged the ninja.
It's the worst. Oh, the ninja?
The ninja. And he is a happy-go-lucky dude that loves to obey.
Yeah.
Actually, I get that a lot.
The ninja is Elias, by the way.
Yeah, I get that from his teachers. I actually get that this last Sunday.
Yeah.
I got it from a lady at the church that said, your son, Elias, is so kind and considerate to my children. Like he includes them, he treats them well, and he's always making sure that they're part of whatever game's going on at Sunday school. Man.
It's funny. Ninja. It's funny because the same thing is true about Ariana, but it's only related to one other boy at our church.
That's not funny.
Oh, is it true?
I don't know who you're... No.
Oh, really? You don't know?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Ariana likes one of the little kids here, one of her classmates.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't?
No, I really don't. I know there's multiple little girls in this church that like my Elias.
Oh, no, Ariana's all about...
There's a number of girls that are trying to become a fowler. I actually text that to their parents. I'm like, everyone wants to be a fowler.
It's funny because all these little kids, they're all so friendly.
They're all nice and kind.
They all get along really well.
But everyone loves the ninja.
Yeah, and then, Elias has got a line of little girls that are like, "Ooh, I'm a Mary Elias."
Especially because he sits there and he beats up bullies in preschool.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I told him next time, you don't slap, son.
Oh, no.
Your fist goes like this.
That's right, man. Yeah. Whatever you got to do.
Anyways, go ahead.
So
Sorry. Do not provoke them. But I provoked them. I have discouraged them. I have kind of, I've almost sucked the life out of whatever situation's been going on with my attitude and how I've spoken.
We can be overly rigid. We can crush their spirits. Listen, and you've seen it. If you're a parent, you've seen it in your kid's face when maybe you have to correct them, or maybe they've just kind of pushed your buttons and they're really not doing anything wrong, and you overreact, and you can see their face. You can see it's like a window into their soul, right through their eyes, and you know, wow, I just oppressed them a little bit. You don't provoke your kids by being overly hard or overly permissive. Right? Like if you have no rules and no restraints, your kids are going to like respond to that, right? So you can provoke your kids in a lot of different ways.
I mean, this is me. Now this is more of a parenting thing, and I don't want to be disrespectful of other parents, but I think kids thrive on discipline. And I think it's unloving to not kind of set those boundaries. Now that's not me saying, hey, like the ninja likes to jump off things, and he likes to explore, and he likes to fight and play around. I don't discourage him from that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I won't allow him to hit other people.
Of course. Except for bullies.
Except for bullies. Then I'm like,
they have it coming.
Then they deserved it.
Yeah.
And that's justified.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't allow him to try to bully himself, other people. Though I don't mind. I don't want to go into that. So yeah, I think making sure that we are encourage our kids to live as God wants them to live.
Right. That's good, man. So far, you said the parents must be honorable. Yep. I said they got to represent and reflect God. You said
then you said do not provoke them.
Did I say that too? Because I said represent, reflect God.
I guess I said it, but I let you answer it.
All right, and then I'm going to say that if the implied responsibility for parents here is then also to train their children in the youth, to raise them up in the knowledge of God. Like if you want your kids to be the kind of kids that will honor you, then they have to know why they're supposed to honor you.
Yeah.
And why they're supposed to honor you is because God has put you in place as their mother and father, and God has placed them as your child, and ultimately all of this happens under the umbrella of God as creator and redeemer.
You know what's so funny is, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say that, like, listen, it is our responsibility to disciple our kids over anybody else's. The church comes alongside to help, but it is our responsibility. So that's one of the implications, I think.
And I think we see that like on Sunday mornings, right? That's one of the areas we see it, is especially for us at Redeemer. And I can only speak into our context because we have the leadership has put together a liturgy in such a way that it helps us to train our kids. So I'm thinking of like communion. That is a time every single week where we discuss with our kids, what does it mean? Like, what does the bread represent? What does the cup represent? And Ariana, this was her first time with us at communion.
Oh, recently?
This last Sunday. And she was like, what's going on right now? Like, what's happening? And we all went to the front.
Like, shut up. We're worshiping.
She didn't say it like that, but she had this look of like,
yeah, because this is new for her.
This was new. She's like, and for her, she's like, hey, why don't I get snack time?
Yeah.
Like, she didn't cry.
She does the same thing that all the other kids do when they come to that
That's
age.
it.
Yeah.
But so we use that as an opportunity to train them. But I know, actually, I was supposed to write an article. I know we joked about it last episode, but I was going to write an article for this week about disciplining our kids. You and I talked about that last week. That's one of the things I think Michelle and I have been working through is, training our kids, disciplining our kids. Kind of the whole key point that we've been talking about is that honoring mom and dad trains us to honor our Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
And so that's part of training them in truth is discipline.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I am a disciplined guy. I do.
You spank that butt.
I do spank my kids. I don't want to be, I know some people don't. However, you're going to discipline or train and raise your kids is how you're going to do it. For our household, we do discipline our kids, and it's hard, man. It's hard, but we have that conversation of, it's not that I want to do this.
Nobody wants you.
But it's because I love you, and I want you to learn what it means to obey us, because that is going to point to obeying God.
And, training them in truth, not provoking them, representing God, being honorable. And I know you and I will totally agree on this, but parents, we have to be gracious
yes,
and kind and we have to delight in our kids.
I love that.
You can listen. You're gonna be disappointed in your kids, and guess what? Your kids are gonna be disappointed in you, because we're all sinners. But man, if you can't be generous to your children, like God is generous to you as His child, if you can't be kind and compassionate as God has been kind and compassionate to you, and if you cannot delight in and sing over your children as God does you, then you do not know God. Your experience of the gospel should motivate you at the deepest level of parenting your children. And so I need that encouragement to be generous, kind, and to delight in my kids. Because sometimes when I come home and I'm really tired and, I don't want to play Xbox with one kid, or I don't want to go see what some other kid has created, what I've got to say is, you know what? I need to lay down my preferences and my interests in order to be gracious, kind, and delight in my children.
And that's right. And that means being active.
Right.
And I kind of wrote down here a note as we were talking. I think that you're hitting on that. Like, part of it is being invested in what's important to them. And I think that means being fun as well, right? Like participating in playing with them at their level, whether that's kind of your talk about the video games or Legos or whatever else. I think that really conveys something to our children about our delighting in them, because we do it not because we delight in it. I don't delight in playing well, I do. Never mind. But there might be other things that they want me to do. Ariana wants me to have tea parties. I don't delight in tea parties, but I delight in her.
Right.
And so I want her to be happy. Yeah. I'm gonna put on the tiara, and I don't want to go into it, but I'm gonna have a tea party. I don't want to go into it. Stop.
All right, I'm just saying.
Nope, it's not happening.
Check out the show notes for a picture of Jimmy in a tiara.
Nope, that's not going to happen.
Oh,
you don't have it.
I'm in control of the website.
You don't have that photo.
Do I have photos of you when you were in junior high? Do I have photos of your yearbooks? Man, I got all kinds of access to all kinds of things. You know I can get anything I want. Big thanks to Justin Bond of J Bond Media.
I don't like you.
He is the audio and what is he editing?
Do you actually have it? Do you have it?
I don't have it.
Oh, good.
No, I've got stuff for you. Oh, absolutely.
You don't. You ain't got nothing.
I don't have it for J Bond. What do you say when we close out the show for J Bond?
I say big thanks to Justin Bond of J Bond Media, the audio visual wizard of doctrine and devotion.
But he's not doing anything
if
visual.
You have any? Well, no,
he's not doing anything.
No, he has.
He's doing audio.
No, he's done our videos.
Yeah, but not in like a year.
Are you kidding me? He just did it a few months ago at our 2017 conference.
Yeah, that was last year. That was a year ago.
2017 conference, you genius.
What?
We are in June right now, end of June.
Okay, so that's 6 months?
He did it 2.5 months ago.
No, get out of here. It was way longer ago than
3 months
That
tops.
was like 2015.
It was not.
It was.
Audiovisual Wizard of Doctrine and Devotion. If you've got any audiovisual photography needs, hit up jbondmedia.com and he will hook you up.
He did video for us like a year ago.
You can follow us on Instagram at DocInDevo or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head on to our website, doctrinedevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for our email blast, or you can hit up the store and grab yourself some merchandise. Head on over to the iTunes, and there you can leave us an honest 5-star review. Fresh pod every Monday and Thursday. Blog posts on Wednesdays. Content coming later during
and
the
banter
week.
every day.
Every day. Every day. Later.